Chiefs Kingdom, we are going to talk about a trade that just happened in the AFC because I think it's worth talking about. But welcome into this KC Sports Report live stream. We haven't done one of these in a while, but if you like it, hit that like button on this live stream so more Chiefs fans can find it, and definitely comment something in the comment section and I'll get to it. But we're going to talk about a trade the Baltimore Ravens made. They are sending a 5th round draft pick to the Carolina Panthers in exchange for wide receiver Deontay Johnson. Now, if you guys remember, the Chiefs made this trade with the Titans last week to get DeAndre Hopkins for a conditional 4th round pick. So it might be a 5th round draft pick, assuming the Chiefs don't make the Super Bowl. But we can both, hope and assume the Chiefs will be back in the Super Bowl, and so that trade will make sense. The fact that the Baltimore Ravens watched what happened in Kansas City and immediately thought to themselves, we got to go trade for a wide receiver. Lamar Jackson doesn't have enough help with Derrick Henry and Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews and the plethora of talent they have over there. Lamar Jackson doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough to beat the Chiefs. And so they went out and they traded a 5th round draft pick with the Carolina Panthers to get Diontae Johnson, a wide receiver that has team control next year. This is not a rental. This is a multi-year player that is going to Baltimore, and he's going to be in that offense. And so the Chiefs absolutely dropped the ball in this situation because you could have had DeAndre Hopkins and you could have had Deontay Johnson for 2 day 3 draft picks. It could have been a 5th round draft pick for Johnson. You could have even given them a second. Oh, actually, not a second. You could have given them a 4th or a 5th. It would have made sense to overpay to get Deontay Johnson because he fits what your offense is trying to do. And he's got multiple years of team control. Now, I understand that DeAndre Hopkins also has the possibility of playing for this team next year. The consensus around DeAndre Hopkins is that he is a rental. He is not somebody that is going to play in this offense for multiple seasons. He's here for the next 12 games. He's here to help win a Super Bowl. That is why he's here. And you would have loved to see Brett Veach go out and make a trade for another wide receiver because that room right now, it's pretty thin. Even with DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, it's, Justin Watson. It is, Sky Moore just had surgery on his core today, but he's going to come back maybe at some point this season. But right now, it's Justin Watson, Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins, and Mecole Hardman. Those are the only guys that are on this wide receiver group right now, and that's not enough. And when you're telling me that you could have gotten Deontay Johnson for a 5th round draft pick, or if you overpaid a 4th round draft pick, that's a bad move. That's a bad move, and it's a great move by the Baltimore Ravens because now they added another weapon to Lamar Jackson and in that Ravens offense that, quite frankly, they didn't need any more weapons. They've got one of the best running backs in football in Derrick Henry. They've got some great tight ends, and I understand their receivers aren't great, but Zay Flowers is young and up and coming, and to get Deontay Johnson for what they got him for, it's a steal. I mean, you're not going to find that anywhere else, and I don't know why the wide receiver market is so messed up right now. I mean, we saw DeAndre Hopkins go for a conditional 4th. We saw Amari Cooper go for a day 3 pick. We saw Deontay Johnson, who's young and has team control after this year. He went for a 5th round draft pick. And the crazy part about this is the Baltimore Ravens got a pick back with this trade. They had a pick swap, so they're getting Carolina's 6th round draft pick in exchange for that 5th rounder. So a day 3 pick swap is all it took to get Deontay Johnson, one of the premier wide receivers at the trade deadline. Now, there's still time. If they really want to go out and make a trade for a wide receiver, Darius Slayton's still out there. I've talked about it multiple times. And listen, if Deontay Johnson went for a 5th round draft pick, you could get Darius Slayton for a 6th or a 7th. I absolutely think that could be in play. And when you're looking at the current state of this Chiefs wide receiver room and the current state of the roster, they need some more talent because they've been decimated by injuries. And if this Chiefs team is serious about competing for another Super Bowl, they've got to go out and make this trade. Now, I will say that, the pressure is off of Brett Veach just a little bit because they did get DeAndre Hopkins. But man, I mean, you could have gotten Deontay Johnson for a day 3 pick, and that's going to rub a lot of Chiefs fans the wrong way because why not? He was a great option for this offense. you're going to trot or I guess not Sky Moore, but you're going to trot Mecole Hardman out there next week. He's going to have 2 catches for 14 yards, and this offense is going to continue to kind of just chug along, but also struggle. And so I don't like the approach to get aggressive and conservative with the DeAndre Hopkins trade, not giving up too much. But when you have that very same opportunity to add depth to the wide receiver room, you just pass on it. And I think that's a really bad thing for this Chiefs team. And the Ravens got better. And listen, I'm not somebody that thinks that the Baltimore Ravens are the Chiefs' kryptonite, because there's no reason to believe that. But the Baltimore Ravens did get better. And so you have to take them serious. That guy, Franks, said that Deontay Johnson's a unrestricted free agent next year, so only control Ravens have is a tag. I doubt they do it. You never know, though, because who knows if Deontay Johnson has a big impact this year with them. Maybe they're able to re-sign him cheap or tag and trade or something along those lines. The point I'm trying to make is, for a 5th-round draft pick, I mean, you could have done a lot worse. This isn't somebody they gave up a premium asset to go get. The Chiefs could have thrown out a 4th-round draft pick, and clearly the Carolina Panthers would have fallen over if you would have done that. So I can't believe that the Panthers are so dysfunctional to get rid of somebody like Johnson for such a small pick, when, I mean, they're just a complete dumpster fire. But I want to hear what you guys have to say in this chat. How do you feel about Deontay Johnson going to the Baltimore Ravens? I understand that a lot of Chiefs fans don't really fear the Ravens, and why should you? You've beaten them, twice this year alone, but an AFC Championship game, and Mahomes, for the better part of his career, has beaten Lamar Jackson when it matters. And I still don't think that Deontay Johnson is going to fix the issues that Lamar Jackson has throwing the football. I know that there's a small community out there that thinks that Lamar Jackson is a special thrower of the football. He's a multi-time MVP winner. I don't trust Lamar Jackson to make the big-time throws when he needs to, and you saw that in this previous Chiefs game that they played in the first week. Lamar Jackson did not make those necessary plays in order to win, and it's a big reason why they lost. And so I don't really know if Deontay Johnson is going to be the fix to their problem. Now, he definitely makes them a lot better, but I mean, if they can't win a Super Bowl and get past the Chiefs with, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Derrick Henry, and Zay Flowers in a defense that has looked pretty dang good, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they're just never going to get it done, and Deontay Johnson's not going to be that guy to get them over the hump, but it is a great addition, and who knows, maybe it can, pay dividends for them. But really quickly, guys, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that is the Rice Real Estate Group. I'm going to play their commercial really quickly. It's only going to be about 45 seconds, so stay tuned until after the break. Welcome to the Rice Real Estate Group, Kansas City's premier partner in real estate. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, you will receive a tailored experience designed just for you. Specializing in residential, commercial, and investment properties, the dedicated team over at the Rice Real Estate Group helps guide you through every transaction, including navigating those short, complex sales. With a commitment to personal one-on-one service, they will ensure that you are supported every step of the way. You can achieve your goals with expertise, care, and a customized approach that truly makes a difference. Ready to make your next move? The Rice Real Estate Group is here to make it happen. For more information, call 816-819-9333. Big shout out to the Rice Real Estate Group for sponsoring this channel all football season long. And I do think I want to get to some of these comments really quickly, saying that I prefer DeAndre Hopkins over Johnson. And I absolutely agree with that sentiment. I think that DeAndre Hopkins fits this offense a way that Deontay Johnson could fit into it, but it wouldn't be the same. I still think that you got the right guy in DeAndre Hopkins. I'm just looking at this move more for a depth piece and a depth move that you could have gone and got an instant contributor in your offense, and it only would have costed a day 3 draft pick. So from that standpoint, I don't love it. And also, I mean, if you're throwing in the wide receiver injuries, DeAndre Hopkins is 32 years old, guys. He could absolutely get hurt on a play and be out the rest of the season. And if DeAndre Hopkins goes down with injury, I'm going to knock on wood right now. If DeAndre Hopkins goes down with an injury, the Chiefs are cooked. It is over. Season is over if DeAndre Hopkins goes down, because are you going to be confident in Xavier Worthy carrying the load of the offense as a rookie? You think it's going to be Juju Smith-Schuster when he comes back? I feel like that is, listen, I'm optimistic. I'm not that optimistic. And so you definitely, need to have the guys, available and healthy. And Deontay Johnson could have been another guy to add to this team purely for depth, because you don't know Hollywood Brown's status. You don't know if he's coming back. The hope is that he comes back early to mid-December, but wide receiver injuries are something you got to take into account, and that it could be more serious than initially reported. We thought that there was a chance that it was only going to be a 4-week injury with Hollywood Brown, and he's not coming back until December at the earliest. So wide receiver injuries are so unpredictable, and you cannot just assume that, oh yeah, he's going to come back at the scheduled timeline. That's just not how it works. One wrong step in Hollywood Brown's recovery, he's cooked. He's done. And so I'm operating under the mindset that it would be great to get Hollywood Brown back, but I'm not counting on it. I'm not, fully bought in yet that he is going to return. I think that there's a good chance, there's a better chance that he does. But to sit here and say, yeah, guys, like Hollywood Brown is going to be back at some point this season, I don't feel confident enough to definitively say that. He could, and he probably will, but that's a maybe. I'm not taking it as gospel right now. He's got to play, I guess not play, but he's got to get through rehab a couple more weeks before we start really feeling optimistic about him coming back. But getting back to Deontay Johnson got traded to the Ravens, for those that have missed it, but I think it's pretty hard to miss because it's what everybody in the NFL is talking about. There was a very similar, I don't want to say sentiment, but there was a lot of NFL fan bases that had the mindset like, how did you let the Chiefs get DeAndre Hopkins? How did you let the Chiefs get, Josh Uche? Like, how is that going to happen? But it did. And this is a very similar situation. How did you let the Baltimore Ravens get Deontay Johnson for a 5th-round draft pick? How, Brett Veach? Like, that is a tough pill to swallow, especially for me, because I just think that if you had the opportunity to go out and get somebody like that, to not do it, that's a big problem. Veach is stingy with picks. I want to say they are cooked. Remigio has potential. Here's the thing, though. If the Chiefs had ultimate confidence in Nico Remigio, he would have gotten elevated for that Raiders game. They didn't know if DeAndre Hopkins was going to be ready to go. Even if Hopkins was good to go, that wide receiver room was thin. That wide receiver room was incredibly thin. And so to see no Nico Remigio, to see no Justin Ross, that's an issue. That is a big problem. And it almost seemed like the trade to go get DeAndre Hopkins was a solution to the lack of wide receivers they had on the practice squad. And listen, I'm done. I am done thinking that either of those guys on the practice squad are going to have any potential. I'm done. I think until we see either of those guys produce in an NFL game, you just have to assume that they're a non-factor, because Chiefs fans have been getting their hopes up on those two guys producing for years now, and it isn't going to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. And you're looking at a wide receiver room that is just broken right now. And it kind of goes back to the whole, Sky Moore's lack of success. Sky Moore having no catches on 2 targets for no yards in an Andy Reid offense just goes to show you the lack of talent that he possesses, because everybody else has been able to flourish in this offense. You signed Kareem Hunt off of the street, and he came in right away and produced. You got Juju Smith-Schuster off the street. He was dealing with injury problems. He had a 100-yard game against the New Orleans Saints. You've seen guys come into this system, be in the system for less time, and make an impact. And Sky Moore's been here week in, week out, and he's done nothing. And so you have to assume that there will not be a Sky Moore resurgence in Kansas City. It's not going to happen. Now, I do feel bad about the injury. He had to get surgery to fix that core muscle injury. This might be harsh. I would love to cut him after it. Once he's off IR, cut him. I mean, I don't know if you can cut a player on IR, but he's not going to do anything in this offense, injured or not injured. He's just been a non-factor. And so I really think that the Chiefs need to do what's best for the team and just cut ties. Just cut him. Cut him right now. He's not going to do anything. There's no point in waiting around. And that's, I think, another reason why this Deontay Johnson trade to the Steelers, I read that someone was a Steelers fan. The Deontay Johnson trade to the Ravens is so frustrating because the Chiefs had an opportunity to kind of fix some of the mistakes they had in, drafting Sky Moore and having somebody like Mecole Hardman, who's been all right in moments. He's not been great, but he's been okay in spurts. But that's not a guy you can consistently lean on. And Deontay Johnson could have been somebody that could have came in, been your number 2 wide receiver, and you could have had a wide receiver group: DeAndre Hopkins, Deontay Johnson, Xavier Worthy, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Hollywood Brown when he comes back from injury. That is an insane wide receiver room. Your wide receiver room goes from being one of the worst in the NFL to one of the best overnight. And I think the biggest issue that I have is that he did go for a 5th-round draft pick, a pick swap. A day 3 pick swap is all it took to acquire somebody that could be a legitimate difference maker on the Baltimore Ravens. You're trying to beat the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs, and you just let him get some, talent at the wide receiver position for a day 3 pick. And maybe the Chiefs were never in on Deontay Johnson. Maybe they never had any interest whatsoever, which is what we found out to be true about Amari Cooper, but I don't care. I mean, I feel like the Chiefs have made kind of the wrong decision when it comes to wide receivers recently, like Sky Moore, Mecole Hardman. Those draft picks haven't been good. Now, they did kind of redeem themselves with Rashee Rice, but that's 1 of 3. That's a 33%, success rate. And, Rashee Rice got hurt this year. So it was a very short-term success. We're gonna have to wait and see what he does next year. But we can't just assume the Chiefs are going to make the correct decision when it comes to getting the right wide receivers in here, because they haven't done it so far. They really have not done it with Brett Veach. And so I do think that going to the Ravens is going to be an intriguing move. Listen, if Deontay Johnson has a big catch over our number 2 cornerback in the playoffs, I'm going to crash out. I might break my TV. We'll find out. But I would just be livid if Deontay Johnson in a Baltimore Ravens uniform comes back to kill this Chiefs team when all it would have taken was a day 3 draft pick to go out and get him. And if anything, you go get him so the Baltimore Ravens can't go get him. So it's just, it's frustrating from that aspect. But hey, in Brett Veach, we trust. I mean, he's always made the right moves, and they've won back-to-back Super Bowls. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not the expert here. Brett Veach is the expert, and I'm going to let him cook. I think, we're going to be in a position to go back to the Super Bowl, and DeAndre Hopkins in this offense is going to be a big reason why. Really quickly, I want to give a shout out to everybody in this chat. Shout out to you, Tony. Shout out to you, that guy, Franks. Shout out to KC Lion Squad. Appreciate all of you guys for commenting, and also all of you that are watching along. You guys being able to, kind of follow along with the stream and give your impact is what, I'm really trying to get into. So if you guys like this, hit the like button on this stream and also comment so we can do more streams, in the future. I would be, down to do more stuff as it pertains to live streams and, live reactions to stuff, because I normally get a video up, but if you guys want to engage with me, we might as well do it like that. Now, I will say, if you guys are liking the live stream right now, I am getting on the AFC West Roundtable at 8 p.m. Central, and that is where a Broncos creator, a Chargers creator, a Raiders creator, and myself talk about the state of the AFC West. And since we beat the Raiders, there's a lot of Raiders fans in that AFC West Roundtable. The Chiefs Kingdom needs to show up and show out as I eviscerate the Raiders creator for saying they had a small chance of winning that game when they got embarrassed at their home at Arrowhead West. So that'll be a really fun time, and definitely go check out the AFC West Roundtable, which will be going live at about an hour and a half. So kind of something I might do in the future is go live right beforehand, and that way you guys could just follow me over there and follow me to the AFC West Roundtable, where the Chiefs Kingdom can show out and kind of prove that they are the best fan base in the NFL, because I'm seeing a lot of Raiders fans. I see very few Chargers fans, but I see Broncos fans. I see Raiders fans. I see Chiefs fans as well. I see, Mickey in the chat. I see you at the round table all the time. And I do think that, the Chiefs Kingdom is there, but we don't get super excited about regular season games. And why should we? We don't care what happens in week 9 or 10. We care what happens in the postseason. We care what happens at that point, and the Chiefs have been better than everybody in the past 2 seasons at proving to be right in the postseason. So again, I want to give a shout out to everybody watching this video. That about does it for this reaction stream. Deontay Johnson got traded from the Carolina Panthers, one of the worst football teams in the NFL, to one of the best teams in the NFL in the Baltimore Ravens. All it took was a day 3 pick swap, sending Baltimore's 6th-round draft pick, or I guess Carolina's 6th-round draft pick to Baltimore, and Baltimore's 5th-round draft pick to Carolina. But I do think the Chiefs made the right decision in going out to get DeAndre Hopkins. But the fact you could have had, Deontay Johnson in this offense, that's a tough pill to swallow. That is an insanely tough pill to swallow. And hopefully it does not come back to bite this Chiefs team in the ass. But before we go, I'm going to again play an ad from our great sponsors over at the Rice Real Estate team. And I want you guys to all like this video if you haven't already, and go support the sponsors. It really helps the channel out. At Rice Real Estate Group, they're more than just a real estate team. They're a full-service partner in residential, commercial, and investment properties. They specialize in guiding clients through every stage, from the buying and selling process to handling complex, short sale situations with ease. Their passion lies in the personal one-on-one care they bring to every client relationship, ensuring each experience is tailored, smooth, and successful. Here it's all about building trust, delivering expertise, and ensuring every client feels valued throughout their journey. For more information, call Marla Rice at 816-819-9333. So Chiefs Kingdom, thank you guys for showing out on this live stream, a reaction live stream. If you do like it, hit the like button on this channel and subscribe for more Chiefs content. I've actually got a video coming later tonight, or maybe I'll drop it tomorrow, but it kind of addresses the Chiefs potentially going out and trading for another number 2 cornerback because of all the injuries to Jalen Watson. And so if you want to see that, definitely hit that like button, turn those post notifications on so you guys will not miss anything that we are posting here on the channel at KC Sports Report. But definitely like this video if you like the live streams, because I'll keep doing them. So for Michael Darcy, thank you guys for watching this Kansas City Chiefs live stream. And as always, go Chiefs.